Welcome. This will be an analysis of the Joe Pass recording uh, of the song Nuages, written by the great Django Reinhardt. An amazing 32 bar solo, ballad solo. I'll probably have the tabs available, maybe available on my Patreon. I'll make a tab, or at least how I play it, and go from there. So we'll just go through measure by measure. It's a great solo. Let's check it out. So the song starts off on an E flat dominant, and the note he hits is the D flat. Holds it for 1 bar, and this is such a great solo. There's so much inside this solo. Hopefully I can do this video. I did it once before. Hopefully I can do it quicker this time. The next measure we have is a D7, and I'm just going to talk in straight 7 or dominant, as Joe Pass said. Chords either major, minor, or dominant. Everything else is kind of an extension. Augmented, diminished, meh. Augmented and diminished are kind of, they're in the dominant family. So at least that's how he viewed it, and I tend to agree with that philosophy. Anyways, first notes here, and then we have this very cool descending line using the parts of the diminished scale. So that whole line is over a D dominant chord, and it resolves to the third of the chord, which is a B natural. Oops. And there's the line. Such a great line. And then over the G chord, he goes. This is live, so I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, unfortunately. I'm going to try to make as few mistakes as possible. So the next measure, after landing on that B, he outlines. He ends up outlining a B minor chord over a G major, which is a nice major 7th sound. But he's doing it in the low register of the guitar, so it sounds very sweet. And then here's our outline. All right, next chord is an E flat dominant, and over that, and then, so that's a really cool line there, this. So you have a dominant chord, but over that chord, you have him playing, which is basically your sharp 11, however you want to put it. And then goes into this really cool line, kind of piggybacking on the diminished line that he had played before, which comes back a few times in this solo. Resolving back to a G chord. And he ends it with an enclosure on the 5th of the chord. Right? So brilliant line. And then now, G major chord, he does another enclosure right there. Right? So after landing on that note, again, another enclosure over the root. Hi, everybody. Looks like I got some people. That's cool. So, and then he outlines the actual chord that we're doing, a G major 7, and then he plays the 6. And this is all G major. Again, going back down to that 3rd. Super tasty. So all together, leading to that G major chord. And now over an F sharp flat 5, over a 2-5-1 to E minor, he does. There's our flat 5. And then now, cool thing, over a B dominant chord, he plays a C major 7-9 arpeggio. again, now an enclosure leading us to E minor. So all this stuff was over a 2-5-1 to E minor, right? The lead in, and then B dominant. Now we're in E minor. And that's super tasty too, because over the B dominant, he plays a D natural rather than playing a D sharp. Really cool choice. And then over the E minor, he plays a D sharp. Again, another enclosure. Another enclosure. And then now he plays a B major arpeggio. And then lands on the root. And then he kind of plays a little soft sixth there. And then now we have an A dominant chord leading to an A dominant chord. And now here's the A dominant chord. And there's your harmony, right? So there, basically there's the chord he's emphasizing. And then still over that A dominant. Oops. I can't play tonight. And then now that last line, that's over a D9, D7. I don't believe in nines. Right, and now we're back to the A section. Really angular line there, a lot of force. And then we have, again, same diminished scale going down. So very similar to the other two lines he did. And this one just has a different emphasis on a different syllable. Kind of precedes by landing on that B natural again. Again, so now here we are, G major chord. Weird thing about that line is he plays a B flat over a G major chord. So he's literally you got this crunch, and it just is so tasty at the time, and you don't even really feel it. And then again, still G major. And I'm not even going to go into this articulation of this solo. Each note is just articulated so beautifully. It could be an hour. This video could be an hour long if I was to go over every measure and the articulation and how he plays it. But then we have, and Joe Pass says, I don't play anything hard. He kind of doesn't. He does and doesn't. He plays stuff that's just good. And a lot of times it's idiomatic to the guitar. And here's a great example. That all just lays right on the guitar. I don't even have to move my hand. Right? And then my favorite part in the whole solo, and that's over an A dominant chord, I should add. And now my favorite part in the whole solo, and this happens over a 2-5-1 to C major. He does this. This is super cool. Very cool line there. So we have so if you were to try to play, if I was a piano player, I could do it all, but not a piano player. So you have, I'll try to play the G over it so you can hear it in context. So it's, he resolves on the 5th of the chord. So he lands on the 9. Still C. My favorite part in the whole solo. So still over a C chord, he starts to play these diatonic arpeggios. very cool line right there. You have an E going to a G major arpeggio, C major arpeggio, D minor arpeggio, E minor arpeggio, and then right into this, and then it lands on a C minor chord. So you have altogether brilliant jazz, and then still C minor. My favorite part, this whole run. And he's anticipating, so this is happening over still a C minor chord. I mean, he's playing basically a B minor arpeggio over a C minor chord. I'm in standard tuning. Hopefully I'm not super out of tune, but there's a chance I am super out of tune. And if I am, I'm sorry. This video will stay up, and I'll try to do this video. I'm going to try to do this video a few times because I feel like each time it's worse. Maybe this is the better time. I don't know. But anyways, all that in context. The arpeggios. And that's a big C minor 9 arpeggio, and there you have an anticipation of the G. And then we're still on G. And then kind of again back to the melody. And then here's the business. It's so crazy. It's so perfect. I mean, and Joe Pass is right. I mean, all that is just, it's right there under the fingers. I can't emphasize that enough. You don't think of sweep picking when you think of Joe Pass, but the dude's a sweep picker. He sweeps all the time. And then he rounds it off at the end of the tune. Sharp 9, of course. And we have a C in the bass here. And then the other guitar does something really cool. The other guitar goes. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. This is a little bit of a wrap up. Brilliant solo by Joe Pass. Hopefully this helps. I'll probably link to tabs on my Patreon or something like that if you want to subscribe there. It's only like a couple bucks a month. You get early access. I'm a composer. You get early access to everything I do, everything I release. I'm also considering offering online guitar lessons if you want to reach out. My website's humansareflowers.com. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye, guitar friends and bass friends and music friends. Till next time. Bye-bye. Haha.